Hey Sophie, we are talking about the ins and outs of calcium today and how calcium supplements can be dangerous. Hey, all right, so here we are. I'm going to make this really short, sweet, quick, and to the point. So, women who are over the age of 45, certainly in menopause, we start getting a little concerned about osteoporosis. Yeah, it happens. Okay, our bone mineral density starts lessening. Some of you might have had a DEXA scan. Some of you may have osteoporosis. It's a very real concern. It's a very real worry. And we do need to address it head on. You don't want to ignore it. You need to know what is going on. But as in everything that I teach, it's all about prevention or slowing down progression. And that is what I want to talk about in this very important video today. So, first off, strong bones. The most important thing, as I always say, you can't eat your way out of a bad diet, but you can't exercise your way out of a bad diet, but I also say that you cannot eat yourself out of an exercise deficit. And that is especially true when it comes to building strong bones, because you have to exercise. And I would be irresponsible if I was doing any video talking about preventing osteoporosis over 50 if I didn't say at the very top of the video that the most important thing for you to do is to be doing weight-bearing exercises and to be doing them regularly and putting a lot of weight on your body weight, or weights with actual weight, doing heavy lifting, resistance training 2 to 3 times a week. But this video is not about exercise. What I really want to get into is calcium. So we think, do we need to take a calcium supplement as we get older? Now, here's the truth. A lot of calcium supplements, particularly if calcium is taken in a really high amount, and I'll explain to you what high is in a moment, have been found to be deleterious, even dangerous for your health. And it's really important that you understand that over a certain amount of calcium that you take in at one time, it can be dangerous because it can lead to calcium buildup in your arteries, it can lead to kidney stones, and a host of other health issues. And I think the most frightening one is the buildup of calcium, because given the fact that women over 50 are the sort of number one killer is a heart attack, and we want to be doing everything that we can, using all the tools, pulling all the levers we can through diet and lifestyle to lower our risk of cardiovascular disease. So that is the main reason why I would say be very careful when it comes to your calcium supplements. Read your bottles. Now, where you have to be especially careful is a lot of multi-vitamin brands, and also even multis for bone health or bone building or bone strength or whatever it might be. Remember, the supplement industry is completely unregulated. And what I see with clients that I work with over and over, which is why my work with clients is always customized and personalized, so we go through everything. But what you really want to do is you want to look, because you might be taking a multi over here, a calcium supplement over here, a bone building supplement over there, and suddenly you're off the charts in terms of being way above the safe upper limit. So what is the safe upper limit? Well, you never want to take a supplement that is more than 500 milligrams, because your body can't process more than 500 milligrams in one shot. So what is it going to do with all that extra calcium? And that's where we're talking about the calcium buildup in arteries. That's where we're talking about the possible kidney stones, etc. So if you do take a supplement, and some of you might need to take a supplement, if you do need to take a supplement, make sure that that supplement is no more than 500 milligrams, tops 600 milligrams. That would be my first recommendation. And I, as a board certified nutritionist, I am all about food first. So what can we get from our food? If we can get nutrients from our food, then let's get them from our food. So now I'm going to show you how you can get an adequate intake of calcium from food. And that's how I'm going to finish up this video. All right, so these are plant-based foods. Now, there are 4 advantages from getting your calcium from plant-based foods as opposed to animal foods, such as dairy products. Number 1 is plant foods often have a more bioavailable source of calcium. So dairy foods might have more calcium on paper, but very often in plant foods, they are more bioavailable, meaning your body is going to be able to use and take up that calcium. So that's number 1. Number 2 is when you are getting your calcium from these plant-based foods that I'm about to show you, you're also getting a very wide array of other very important nutrients, which you wouldn't be getting necessarily in a dairy product. In a dairy product, you're also getting a lot of saturated fat, and that is the one thing that you don't need to be eating if you're a woman over the age of 50. If you're trying to get rid of belly fat and get into breast health and lower your LDL cholesterol, you don't want to, but you want to minimize your intake of saturated fat. Also, studies have shown that those who get their calcium from, and I always have my studies in front of me, from a plant-based diet, that has been associated, women who do get their calcium from plants, with better bone density post-menopause. So those who get their calcium from plants, better bone density in menopause. That's what studies are showing us. And also, plant-based sources might be better tolerated because a lot of people are lactose intolerant, even if they don't know it. Okay, so those are 4 reasons why plant-based sources might be better, might be the best thing to do. So let's talk about how much calcium you need. So every woman over the age of 50 needs 1,200 milligrams a day. Write that down because you really do need to know, it's important. You need to get 1,200 milligrams a day, okay? Now I'm going to show you, and my calculations here with what I'm showing you, what I've got in front of me on this table, gives you 1,354 milligrams. So if you eat what I'm showing you here, you will get over the amount that you need. Okay, so that's the really good news. Now, in some cases, for some women who don't have access to these plant-based foods, or you can't, or your lifestyle is just not going to allow you to get these into your diet, or maybe you're going on a, 3-month travel across the world and you're not going to be able to be really mindful, whatever the reason, if you think there's going to be a shortfall, let's just say, I think I could probably only get in 700 or 800 milligrams a day, then that's when there might be a place for a supplement, just to make sure that you're covering your bases. And if you do take a supplement, no more than 500 milligrams. Okay, let's talk about these foods now. So these are all highly absorbable forms of calcium, and this is exactly what will give you that 1,300 and change. So 2 cups of dark leafy greens. Spinach, collard greens are probably the most absorbable source of calcium. Spinach is also great if you're worried about the oxalates in spinach, which some people are. I'm not sure you have to be unless you're eating buckets of raw spinach, but if you are, you just can cook your spinach, steam it, and then that takes out the oxalates, but the calcium is retained. So 2 cups. This is 2 cups. That boils down to like that much spinach. I'll eat like 4 cups in a sitting if I'm cooking it. Okay, so all dark leafy greens, highly absorbable form of calcium, particularly collard greens and spinach. Next up, we have, I actually should have done it in this order because I was sort of going from high to low. But anyway, calcium set tofu is probably your best source of absorbable calcium. Now, when you buy your tofu, you want to look for extra firm, super firm, or high protein tofu. It generally comes in a block like this. It's not sitting in a lot of water, so it's very easy to use. You don't have to press it or anything like that. And just 1 cup. 1 cup gives you, let me get this right, where have I got it? About over to 750 milligrams of calcium. So that you get a lot of bang for your buck. But make sure that your tofu in the ingredient list has calcium sulfate. Sometimes it's known as calcium set tofu. It won't say this is calcium set tofu. So you need to look at the label and see that calcium sulfate is on the ingredient list. And generally with a very firm, extra firm or high protein, generally you will find that on the ingredient list, okay? So really great, but that's just 1 cup. You could just sprinkle that on your salad, cut it into little cubes, marinate it. I show my clients how to, eat tofu, even if you hate it. My clients end up absolutely loving it. And if there's any part of you that's worried about eating tofu or soy, again, soybeans, edamame beans, another really great source because you think you're scared of breast cancer or thyroid or something like that. The most recent science now, evidence-based science that we have now has completely debunked all of that. We now know that soy is actually protective against breast cancer, recurrence of breast cancer, decreases hot flashes. It's just basically is a health food for women, particularly over the age of 50. I recommend it to everybody. I think 4% of the population are allergic, very small number. Okay, my dogs are barking, but I'm going to keep on going because I don't want to break up my flow here. White beans, well, kidney beans or white beans, but I love white beans. Half a cup, that's it. 1 orange, 60 grams of calcium. 1 tablespoon of chia seeds gives you 179. Prunes are an amazing source of calcium, but figs are even better. I've got prunes here because I didn't have the figs. I'm going to go buy some this afternoon, but figs are amazing. Just 3 figs gives you 40 milligrams of calcium, and it's easy to eat those figs. You can chop them up, put them on your oatmeal, put them in a trail mix, or just munch on them. So figs or prunes, but I would go for figs over prunes. And almonds, raw crunchy almonds, 1/4 of a cup of almonds gives you 80 milligrams. Okay, so there's lots of other ways. You can also look for calcium-enriched foods. There's calcium-enriched plant-based milks. Be a little bit careful because often the calcium-enriched milks also have a lot of other additives like carrageenan and oil and things like that. So you've got to read your ingredients really carefully. There's one brand that doesn't, that I really like, that's very high in calcium. It has over 300 milligrams per serving, and that is the Plant Strong brand of plant-based milks. And I will link to that in the description box of this video. So I think that's it. That's really, I wanted to make this short, sweet, and very quick, this video. So just the big takeaways to recap once more is over the age of 50 or 45, when we go into, certainly when you're postmenopausal, you do need to really focus on bone health. And you do need to be doing weight-bearing exercises, 2 to 3 times a week minimum, okay? Calcium supplements can be dangerous. Make sure that you're not taking too much calcium because that could be a mistake and that could be impacting your health negatively as you get older. The most you want to take as a supplement that is 500 to 600 milligrams tops. So check all your ingredient labels. And then plant foods can be superior to animal foods such as dairy to get your calcium. And I've spoken about the reason why. I won't go over that again, but more bioavailable, more absorbable, easily tolerated. And I think the really big thing for me and for the women that I coach and teach is that you're not getting all the saturated fat, which you don't want. And so you can mix and match these. And finally, if you think about it, you can put your dark leafy greens, chia seeds, almonds, and figs in a smoothie. Or so that's easy. Or you could go, well, I'm going to do a tofu scramble for lunch or dinner or whatever with my tofu and spinach or a stir fry or whatever else. Beans, I always have some kind of bean every single day for lunch, and oranges, wow, delicious. Don't have orange juice because that takes all the fiber out. That will spike your blood sugar. Make sure it is a whole, beautiful, juicy, yummy orange. That's it from me. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and click the notification button, because if you don't, you won't get notifications. And so many of my clients have been saying, or my subscribers have been saying, Sophie, I haven't been getting your videos. And I'm like, you've got to click that notification button. And another little hot tip is when you open the YouTube app on your phone or your computer, go to the subscribed tab, because then the channels you've subscribed to are all going to be there in one place. Otherwise, YouTube will serve you up a whole lot of stuff that you don't want to see. and check out other little links and resources and cool things that I have for you. Everything is in the description box to this video, and I'll see you next time.